Good morning, friends. Happy Monday. Can you believe that it is June? I cannot believe it, but it is June, and I'm super excited that a new month is underway. And one of the most important things is to take a moment, take a day, whatever that looks like for you, and stop and reflect upon what are some of the things that you have learned from the past and that you are going to then bring into the new month, the new week, the new day, whatever that is. And so I don't know about you, but I do a lot of reflection every morning. I actually practice something called the Miracle Morning or Morning Miracle. I can't remember, but my friend Sandra had introduced me to Hal Elrod, and I'll put his book below. It's a great book, and so it gives you kind of a formula, if you will, for starting your each and every morning. And it's really powerful. And so I have kind of adopted some of those things into my business. I just kind of relaunched Shine as of March. And so, I don't have a lot of data, but when you think about COVID, right? Like we now have 90 days worth of data, of our own data. We don't have, we're not necessarily relying upon Italy or Europe or China. And so the same thing happens, like you have to create your own data. And so one of the most important things is to stop and look back at the week, look back at the month and say, okay, what worked? And so I'm going to offer you a couple different things that I have done over the last few months. Obviously, I've had Shine for several years, but this is one of the things that I've really been much more intentional about in the last few months. And now because of so many apps and there's so many different ways of like checking and analytics, it's very helpful. But first of all, if you do use Facebook, which obviously this video is on Facebook, you should be using, hopefully, one, your own business page. And then secondly, you should be using the Facebook Pages Manager app. So that is a little orange flag, and that gives you an opportunity to look back through analysis. So first of all, if you are tuning in and you are a business owner, give me a thumbs up if A, you have your own business page. And then secondly, also let me know if by chance you are a business owner and you have your own business page, are you using the Facebook app? All right, so good. I see somebody giving me some little thumbs up there, so awesome. So with that being said, you want to go back and you want to look and see, hi, Miss Jennifer, you want to go back and look and see on your analytics. Go look and see what was your reach. Look at some of the things, look back, it'll show you the top performing posts. A great thing to do also is on LinkedIn, they have something similar. You can look and see, what your profile views were and things like that. Not necessarily your post views, but it will show you profile. And then of course, also on Instagram, you can look also at your, you can analyze too and see. And it's simple on Instagram too. You can just look and see like what had the most engagement. And so one of the things I want to share with you guys is to look back and see what performed well. Did you have a certain video or did you have a certain time of day? Really start kind of looking at some of the variables. And it's hard to do because, marketing is a science. Marketing and advertising are sciences because there's so many things that are factored into it. But remember, marketing is all about relationship. Somebody wants something, and do I have what they need, right? Do I have that product, that service, that skill, that talent to be able to meet that need? So you create a relationship around that. So with that being said, look and see what were some of the posts that people engaged with. What were some of the things that people resonate, that resonate with people. I know that, the coach I work with, she says all the time, humor, even during some sensitive times, obviously what's going on right now in our world with the racial divide, I would not, that's me personally, I would not be posting anything funny about that. But I know that there were a lot of memes during COVID and things like that where people were, joking around about not having done their hair or changed clothes or showered or things like that. And I think people, appreciated that. And I feel terribly for the people who passed away or who were impacted by that. But I think that there's also different ways in which people deal and heal. And so with that being said, I don't want to digress to that, but be thinking about like, okay, well, what worked? Was there a video that I shared that had a topic that maybe people want to learn more about, or maybe people ask questions about? Guys, the more you put out there, the more people are going to, hopefully respond to, and then that's going to be your, really, if you will, your bread and butter. You're going to say, oh, wow, that really resonated, or that was a really funny video or something like that. So be thinking about how you can use what they've already given you to provide more content or what people want. So with that being said, I want you to think about the first question is, I look back and I literally over the weekend, I analyzed a lot of things and I said, okay, what was the best event that I did, the offer, the post, what worked well for me? Okay. Now for me, I know Luminaries, my little membership group, I said I was going to open it back up for June and I haven't done that yet, but I'm like, why would I not? I want to go ahead and open that back up. I've gotten some feedback from some people and they're just saying like they just love the community. And so that will help me with some of my marketing language. I might go into my group and ask some questions to be able then to get feedback from them, to be able to position that so that, I can invite other people to join in. So look back and see what worked, right? And then also ask yourself, the second question is, what lesson did I learn? What was the biggest lesson that I learned? And ask yourself, who or what was the teacher? Because most likely, teachers are not always people. Sometimes they're pain. Sometimes they're, having to call Apple support, or sometimes whatever that is, like what was the lesson you learned? You pushed through it, the perseverance. What did you learn as a result of the teacher, right? What was the teacher that taught you something? I know in my little Luminaries group that I just mentioned, so many people have said like, I did X, Y, and Z, and I'm so proud that I was able to do this. And so really looking back and reflecting, it's an important part. I wrote yesterday, the more reflective you are, the more effective you are. And that's in everything, guys. This is not just about business owners today. This is about everything in life. So if you're reflecting on a relationship, if you're whatever, your health, what are some of the patterns that I have? What are some of the things that triggered me or that tripped me up? Looking at that will help you be successful. And then the last thing is actually one of my mentors, Joel Manby. He's an amazing man. And he's a corporate leader for over 25 plus years. He was a CEO over 25 plus years and had 40 years of experience. And thank you, Allie. The Luminaries is a great group. So with that being said, what is something, he has these 3 questions that he asks. And he says, same as, more of, less of. And so what is something that worked last month that I want to continue, that I want to, keep going and sustaining? What is something that worked well? The second thing is what can I do less of? What was something that, maybe zapped my energy or zapped my joy, or what was something that like wasted, was a huge time suck? Be thinking about some of the things that you want to do less of in this month. Be intentional about it. And then the last one is more of. What is something that I would like to do more of this month, or this week or today? And so, think about things that light you up. Think about things that bring you joy. And of course, if you are a business owner, you're probably thinking, what brings me revenue? What brings me impact? What brings me clients? Be thinking about that. But I also encourage you guys, and I've mentioned this before, that, owning a business is not all just about money. Of course, that is, an end goal, right? But it's also the byproduct of your passion and your purpose. And so I really started looking a couple years ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. A really good friend of mine positioned it and said to me, what if you started tracking how many people you impacted instead of looking at how much money you made, how many followers you had, how many subscribers you had to email? And I was like, but that's so qualitative. Like I can't count that, right? It's not a quantitative measure. And she was like, you can, look and see. Like I was volunteering at that time. I was working at the Juvenile Justice Center, and there were, I was going once a week, and any given time there were 20 girls in there. And, I was like, is it falling on deaf ears? And she's like, you went and you did it. You were obedient to God. Like you went and you did it. And that was when I had my mission, I was pretty much ministry, with Shine. And then I've now even started doing that a little bit differently too, where I don't always think about, how much the money seems to be there, because my passion and my purpose, I'm very intentional about trying to help people. And, the challenge is I can't help all the people the ways in which they need it. So there's only one of me. And, I do have a lot of one-on-one clients. I've got 4 one-on-one clients that I work with on a weekly basis that take up about 40 hours of my time. And I'm not complaining about that at all. I love them. I cherish them. But what happens is because of that, then I can't devote, 40 hours to doing some of the other things that I want. And I love that. But it's just, I only have so much time in a day. So with that being said, guys, think about 3 things. Well, there's kind of 6 things if you count that last one being a 3-part. First of all, what worked last month? What were some of the things, the events, the posts, whatever that was, was there something that I did? Maybe it's even an ad or an offer that you made. The second thing is, what lesson did I learn and what was my teacher? And then the last thing is, what do I want to do more of, less of, and same as? And I always love hearing from you guys. And guys, remember, this is not just about business owners. This is about any area of life that you're looking for a goal. Again, with me, some of you know my weight loss story. And so with me, same kind of thing. I could look at that and be like, okay, what worked well for me last month? Well, I didn't eat out 5 times a week. That was a huge win, and so I stopped eating out. I stopped, having carbs past a certain hour, things like that. What was one lesson I learned? Well, exercise is an important part, but it's not the only part. Sleep and stress and of course diet were really important factors. And then last thing is, what would I want to do more, less, and same as? Same thing happens, you guys, in any area. If you're in a relationship and you're like, well, what worked well last month? Well, we had an argument, but we talked through it, So be thinking about how you can apply these lessons, to other areas of your life. And I don't know about you guys, but I know that when I'm focused in one area of life and I kind of dial that in, some other areas seem to fall into place, right? Your business starts prospering when your relationships are centered. When, first of all, that relationship always starts with you and, God, your higher power. And then of course with yourself. And then other things really start to fall into place. So I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to hear about how you reflected. Maybe you have some other questions, or maybe you have some other ways in which you reflect. This is not the end all be all by any means, you guys, any means. And so I'm always open to hearing what other people are doing and how people do it. So give me a thumbs up if this is something you want to try, if this is something you think that would be helpful for you in any area of life. I would love to hear back from you guys. As always, I know sometimes it's a little bit, vulnerable to put yourself out there on social media and post some of these things below. But I do encourage you guys to take some time, open up a journal, spend some moments, literally today, it's the first day of the month. It's a new day, it's a new week, it's a new month. I love when, the first starts on a Monday. I kind of feel like, boom, I'm just bringing it. So that's your best A game, guys. Love you guys. So grateful for you. And if you are interested in luminaries and have some questions about that, you're welcome to connect with me. And I will hopefully be posting some more information about that. But otherwise, stay tuned for more exciting things with Shine this month. There's some new programs and offers that are coming out. So have a great day, guys. Happy Monday and happy June.